Shut up, Happy. Don't feel bad about me. I got my hand back, see? We've only just begun.
Hi everyone, Josh from the ITR team. Welcome to our new podcast. This is the ITR Talks Series. In the series, we're going to be chatting to a variety of golfers, from your club golfers, your weekend warriors, society golfers, all the way up to your elite amateurs, club pros and touring pros. Today we have our first guest ever. You've seen him on the ITR winter match play reels. We have the one and very only Wing Commander Dan. Dan, how are you today, mate?
Good evening, mate. I'm very well. How are you?
I'm good. Thanks for asking. Mate, whereabouts in the world are you?
I'm in Horsham currently, just half an hour off the coast of West Sussex.
Beautiful. Right. Are you ready to get down and tee off in the first ever ITR Talks series?
Let's do it, mate.
Let's do it. Right, mate. First question. How did you get into the wonderful game of golf?
It would have been through my dad. My dad's absolutely sports mad. That's passed on to me. There's a little pitch and putt. The golf club around the corner from us, Rustington Golf Centre, had a little pitch and putt that I went round on like weekly. As a little kid from probably about 6 or 7 with you and your dad. It's a great shame it's actually been built on now. But that was right. That was where I learned round the par 3 there. I'll never forget that.
So what age are we sort of talking? You say you're about 6?
Yeah, I reckon I was like 6, 7. Like my first mucking around. Probably lessons at like 8, maybe. I remember. This is inflation for you. I'm pretty sure the junior group lessons were £2.50.
What a deal!
Saturday morning.
What a deal!
Yeah.
I think
How mental's that?
I think you can't even buy 25 balls for that now.
No.
It's madness. So you started off Saturday morning group lessons. I mean, if you're like me, when I was small, in the garden with the plastic set, I'm sure your dad got you one. And you
we had a plastic set, and then my first set was a young gun pitch and wedge 5-iron and 7-iron, and I think a 3-wood and a multicoloured pencil bag. Which, like, honestly, if I had that bag now, it'd look really cool. But I think they're a thing of the past.
What part are we talking? Was it a blade or a mallet?
I'm pretty sure it was a blade, and then I went to an ogre mallet, sort of like the one similar to one that you got now, but they obviously couldn't rip off Odyssey, so. The balls were like sort of 2 semicircles, a little bit apart. It was basically a rip-off of the 2 ball.
And I think it was the 2 semi. It was like a line down the middle, and then 2 semicircles.
Yeah, and ogre putter, graphite shafted, which was a bit odd. But
if my memory serves me correctly, I want to say the shaft was orange.
Yeah, I think it was like black and like an orange tip.
Good times. So right, you started group lessons Saturday mornings. And then obviously you're homing your skills in on the par 3.
Trying to, yeah.
It was a great little par 3, to be fair. It had some really good little holes.
Yeah, it did. I always remember because I think near the back 9 it had like 2 really long ones, and as a little kid they were like max range. You were like bombing in 3-wood, but the rest of them were all right.
My favourite was the 9th. I mean, obviously, as we got older, with the little 2-tier green, and you try if the pin was at the front, you try and throw it in the back, and it would just look really cool.
Yes, I do remember that. Yeah, that's good.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I do remember that. I mean, as the host, I'm trying to act like I don't know what you're on about, but I know exactly what you're on about.
Well, basically the entire of our golfing life is together, mate. Yeah. So a lot of our experiences are going to be pretty shared. Yeah.
So at what age are you getting out on the main course, as it were, or on a full length course?
Yeah, so Dad was good. He wouldn't let me go on the main course until he thought I was ready, which is obviously at the same place. And I think I was probably about 12 when I went on the main course for the first time.
Nice. And how long before you started playing the main course did you get your first handicap?
Pretty much straight away. But it was high. I think my first official handicap was 38. I don't know how you get your initial one now, but when we did it, it was 3 cards and they took your average.
Mate, you're going down with that 38 handicap. You're going down stroke NX1, and you got 3 shots.
3 bangs, yeah. You can make a triple, get 2 points. How good?
Huge. So, as you progressed onto the main course, were you still having lessons at that point?
No, not really. Lessons had sort of stopped by then because I was 12, 13. Like, golf wasn't really my main sport. I was like rugby hooked. So I had lessons as like a little kid with Russington, and then the occasional one here or there, but never really properly until like a few years ago.
Nice. And then how long before your handicap came tumbling down?
Well, I got to sort of like, I think just by playing it, like the first couple of years, it came tumbling down. And I remember getting to sort of 11, 12 when I was about 14, 15. So it took me a couple of years. And then I got to 11, 12 on my own. And then I was just sort of stuck there for ages because I wasn't playing that much with like uni and work and rugby and stuff. And then when I got my current job and I had a bit more free time in the week, I was like, right, I'm going to have some lessons. Started seeing Ross at Cranfield Golf Academy, and that's Stephen Newell. And I had a load of lessons with him, and he got me down to singles and better than that.
Nice. Right, let's rewind. Let's go back to the junior career. I mean, I know the answer, but did you have a good junior section at your club? You remember?
So good. Yeah, so we joined Ham Manor when I was probably like 14, which was next door. And they had a little junior section run by Steve Telling, probably the nicest man on the planet. And we were quite good numbers then. I remember, obviously, the main of our junior golf was during school holidays, but during school holidays, there was probably like 2 comps a week on. So we'd just always be down there. It was, yeah, loads of matches, loads of knockouts and opens and stuff. It was amazing.
Yeah, I remember good, like for junior summer cups and stuff, good turnout. We'd be getting at least probably 15 to 20.
Yeah, we would. And I'd struggle to think, I'd say probably the average junior membership at a golf club now is like 10 or less.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's just Ham Manor. I think that's probably everywhere.
Yeah, I think it's nationwide. It's just struggling, and I don't know what the answer to it is. Although
I don't know either, because it's still like so cheap. Junior golf is really cheap, I think, but the problem is getting them in the door is really cheap. But then as soon as juniors want any sort of gear, once they get like remotely good, then you've got to get the adult stuff, which is so expensive. Yeah,
it's not cheap. And what I used to love on the junior section Ham Manor is the little incentive to play comps. I don't know if you remember, but if you played 6 comps, you got a free lesson with Matt Cole, or free half an hour lesson with Matt Cole.
Oh my god, yeah, I do remember that. Yeah, when we first joined, they did that. That was good.
Yeah. So I think that's a great incentive. But
yeah, absolutely. The more the pro is involved with the junior section, which to be fair, I think ours is, the more that helps.
Yeah,
definitely.
Because I mean, if you're like us, you're picking it up at a young age, and you keep going with it, and then you're basically, as an adult member, almost paying back into what you got out of it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. So junior career, you're, how old are you? So we say 16 years old and you're about 12?
Yeah, 14, 15, I think I got to about 12. But then I was stuck there for a while.
I remember those days, mate. It was a few years you were off 12.
A long time, yeah.
How long do you reckon it was, just out of curiosity?
Well, probably about 10 years I was off 11, 12. But those sort of 10 years I wasn't playing anywhere near as much as I was now.
And then what made you, or how did you get the jump down from 12? Because I assume your goal was just to get single figures.
Yeah, it was. Like, that was it. And then I sort of took off from there. The main goal was singles, which I always knew I could do anyway, but because I always hit the ball well off 12, but I made like a lot of double bogeys, a silly mistake, or like make a bad shot, hit a bad shot, and then just immediately hit another bad shot, just auto double. But 2 things happened. I had more time to play because, you know as well as I do, the more you play, then naturally you're just going to get better. but then I had some money to commit to lessons as well, and I had probably about 8 lessons, one every month, sort of 6 weeks. I have lessons with the same guy now, but every sort of like probably just like once a year. But the proper committed time to lessons and practice, all of a sudden it just clicks and down I came.
So when you started having lessons with Russ, did you go like full rebuild at the start, or did you have a look and then work with it?
So half and half. It wasn't a rebuild, but we looked at everything. We had a lesson on driving, we had a lesson on irons, we had a lesson on pitching, we had a lesson on putting, we had a lesson on chipping, we had like a full course lesson. It was a whole thing. But he was never trying to like change it from the ground up. He was just looking at what I've got and tweaking it a bit.
Yeah, it's good. I mean, the worst thing is going to a golf lesson and then just coming away with a million swing thoughts and just not being able to hit the ball.
If you come away like technique wise, I think only ever thinking of one or two things to hang your hat on, then that's going to help. Because like I still get in my own head with technique now, but which is fine for the driving range. But when you're on the golf course, you can't really think about technique. I don't think anyway. You just purely want to think about like outside stuff.
And it's always so hard. I mean, you know as well as I do, you can stand on the range, have a lesson, make a small change, stripe it, but then taking that swing to the golf course is impossible.
Oh, it's horrendous. And then like the problem is because you can get in your own head as well when you hit a bad shot, because you'll hit a bad shot and immediately my brain will be like, yeah, I hit a bad shot because I did that, so I've got to do that next time, otherwise that will happen again, and then you just spiral and you've had it.
Can you think of a main thing in your game that improved, that got you down from sort of 12 handicap to the single figures?
Yeah, off the tee. I used to be. I wouldn't say I've got that much longer off the tee, but I used to spray it. But I've tightened up the driver a lot, and that's helped.
Yeah, and I think what you were saying about earlier is changing that score from an 82, 83, 84 to a 76, 7, 8 is getting rid of the doubles.
Yeah, I'm massively. Yeah.
Nice. So, right, we've got you down to single figures. Did you ever, I mean, I'm quite a goal-oriented golfer. Did you have any goals after singles?
No, not really. All I ever wanted was to be single figures, because I knew I could be off singles the whole time I was off 11, 12, but just couldn't make that leap. So I never really thought beyond that. And then weirdly, once I got to single figures, and that was sort of like a weight off my shoulders, I just sort of kept getting better naturally. And that was probably due to the lessons. They just started clicking more and more. And I had more confidence to put in better scores, and my handicap just kept coming down.
Did you make any changes on sort of the mental side of the game?
A little bit. Yeah, I'd read one really good book actually. Hang on. Let me go get it.
I love that. Mate, if you pull out a Rotella, I'm going to be so impressed. If that's Dr. Bob, then we've not even found it.
Not yet. Sorry.
Mate, the viewers at home, we're getting hyped for a Rotella coming out.
Sorry, it's not a Rotella. No, it was called. I think it was just called Be a Player, and it was by two female coaches whose name escapes me, but it was really good because it gave you like things to practice on the course, and then you could like work out what helps for you. So it'd be like play 9 holes, on one hole focus like only on this or only on that, and then like you come away from that 9 and you think, oh, that really worked. So yeah, just getting your little routine for what works for you in your head. It's a really good book.
Nice. Can you remember what year you first shot in the 70s?
In the 70s? Oh, probably. See, that's what's mad. I shot in the 70s a fair bit when I was off 11, 12, but I'd also shoot in the 90s.
Yeah, so
I was probably a teenager, like, yeah, probably 15, 16, shooting in the 70s.
It's good feeling.
It never came down because I would also go out there and have a 94.
Oh, mate, we've all been there. We've all been there.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, golf is such a weird game because like you say, when you're off 12, 13, 14, you think, right, I'll shoot in the 70s,
yeah,
and then you do it, and then next week you go out and shoot 94.
yeah. Because you can see it as well. You can see at our club, there's so many people off sort of like 10 to 15 that absolutely flush it, but also can't keep it on the planet. And that's exactly what I was like.
Yeah. So, right, mate, we're fast forwarding. We're going to 2024. What are you off these days?
Currently off 4. Yeah, I'm on the climb back up due to less golf than I had a couple of years ago due to having a wonderful young boy, but he has curbed my golf a bit.
Mate, the wonderful furlough done you well and your golf game.
Yes, yeah. For COVID, obviously not great for the country. It was fantastic for my golf, and that got me down to 1. But I'm on the climb back up the last couple of years.
Because I'm trying to think, looking back, because when did it all kick off? March 2020, and then they stopped golf, obviously. But I want to say, if my memory serves to correct me, we started teeing it up again in May or April, May time.
Something like that. And I remember, well, that was basically the only thing you're allowed to do, wasn't it? So I was there basically every day.
So obviously you got down to 1. Fantastic handicap. I've done my research before this podcast. So the average handicap in the UK is 17.4. And I didn't know that before doing the research.
No, I didn't either. But it makes sense, I guess, when you think about it. If you were to take the average at our club, it's probably...
Yeah, you're probably looking at 18.
Yeah.
So getting down from your sort of 7, 6, 5 to 1, was it literally just a point of playing more?
It was playing more. My short game really tightened up. And obviously, going back the other way, my short game's got worse again. So that was probably a big factor. I'd get up and down a lot more. And weirdly, I don't feel like much change, but I don't know what happened to change it. But from sort of like 5 to 1, I just started making a load more birdies. Like I would, when I was off sort of 5, 6, 7, I would go out and shoot my handicap a lot, but not probably only make like 1 birdie around. But I would make, off 1, I would make 3 or 4 birdies around.
I think that definitely comes from confidence.
Yeah.
Because, I mean...
Yeah, definitely.
We can all go out there and make a birdie, but stringing a card together is hard. I mean, we've all had it where we started off hot. I know I always say to you, I hate birdie in the first hole because it's just a curse, because you think, oh, no, here we go. But how would you... I mean, what I really struggled with when I was sort of 8, 9 handicap is I'd have a good round going. So I'd be, I don't know, for argument's sake, 4 over with 3 to play. And I could just never get it across the line. I'd always ended up shooting or finishing like bogey, double, or having an absolute mare down the last. Yeah.
That was my killer when I was off sort of 11, 12. If I ever had a good round going, I would like panic. And I think the moment you start getting over cautious, like hitting a 4-iron off tee when you'd hit a driver on that hole every day, I think that's you're done then. It helped for me keeping my foot on the gas, as it were, and just trying to stay aggressive. And if I made a 5 staying aggressive, I wouldn't be that annoyed because I was still hitting the ball well, and I'd likely go and par or birdie the next maybe. But if I was conservative and made a bogey anyway, that'd be like head's gone. I've lost it.
I think it is the thing of being tentative though, isn't it? Like, let's just say you've got, I don't know, 400 yard par 4 to finish. You think, right, if I hit 3-wood hybrid, hit it 220, 230, I've got 170 in. The worst I'm going to make is probably 5 from there. And then you get over it, and you just, I don't know, you almost get so guidey.
Yeah, totally. Well, it changed actually for me once. The guy I had lessons with when I had all those lessons, Russ, we did one out on the course, and you remember the first at Rust, par 5,
Yeah.
and 9 times out of 10 when we played it, we'd always just like knock a 4-iron down there and treat it as a free shot. And I did that first day with him, and I hit it down the middle, and he was like, just out of interest, why did you hit an iron there? And I was like, I don't know, I just thought, always have. And he was like, yeah, I'd have hit driver. And I thought, really? What about the sort of trees further on? And he was like, yeah, I get that, but also, sort of statistically, the further down the hole you want, the better you're going to be.
Yeah.
So it's almost our club level, thinking less about straight and more about getting it down there.
Yeah, because there was a stat I'd read from the PGA Tour that basically a lot of their bogeys come from hitting a wayward drive. So instead of, I don't know, hitting your 3-wood hybrid and playing for safety and then end up blocking it or hooking it, you're going to be 40 yards back from where a driver would, where you can just punch out 50 yards, have a wedge it, at worst make 5.
I'd rather be in the rough 100 in than be in the rough. Well, yeah, I'd rather be in the rough with 100 to the green than be in the fairway like 160 to the green. I'd rather have the wedge.
Right, first time you shot in 60s.
Probably 2021. It was with you.
It was indeed.
68 in the Manor. It was either 2020 or 2021. Hang on.
Mate,
he's getting
the frame scorecard out. Love that. Absolutely love that. For everyone watching this, he was so proud of it that he framed it, and that is by his front door in his house, which I absolutely love. Big fan of it.
Right, how sad if I got it in a frame. 11th of June 2020, 68.
Beautiful. Love that. And what went right on that day, if you can remember? Was it just draining a lot of putts or hitting a lot of green?
I remember getting off to a really, really hot start and thinking like, oh my God, like this could happen because I really wanted to break par. And then, I turned in 3 under. And then I think that I shot under par on the front 9 like a lot, but had never, by that point, then turned that into an under par round. But then I'd shot an under par front 9 and then birdied 10 to go 4 under. And at that point, I looked at you and I was like, oh my God, this could happen today. I then made a couple of bogeys, but we managed to get it in to under par. The birdie up 10 was the game changer to be like, we're on for this here. Yeah.
Whereas, I mean, the worst thing is turning in the red and then hooking it out of town down 10.
Yeah, like the amount of times I would have had like a 1 or 2 under front 9, but then be level par again by like 11 or 12 straight away.
So for everyone watching, any advice for golfers that are trying to go from that 12 handicap to single figures?
Short game.
It's
all short game. It's all chipping and putting, because like even at a lower handicap level, you still miss quite a lot of greens, I'd say. But the difference is getting up and down. Something that I'm struggling with currently.
Mate, it's a work in progress. Right, now we're going to move on to, we've heard about your golfing career, as it were. So we're just going to move on to what your sort of best facts are about golf. So,
okay.
In terms of a golfer, who is your biggest inspiration?
It's a good question. I mean, the big obviously Tiger, because
the cat, of course.
Because when we were little kids, he was like prime Tiger.
He was the man, just unstoppable.
Every time he played, he won without even trying. Obviously, not a huge fan of his personal life, but his golfing career, you can't. Yeah, he's the best. So it would have to be Tiger.
Nice. I forgot what I was going to say. What's the next point? Okay. what was the first golf tournament you can remember, or professional golf tournament watching on TV?
I couldn't tell you a year, but when I was little, the Open was on BBC, so it would have been the Open.
Nice.
Whatever year, but I don't know. I couldn't tell you which one. I vaguely remember actually the Van der Velde Carnoustie one.
Oh, the blow. When was that? Was that?
I couldn't tell you what year that was.
Oh god, that's going to bug me now. I want to say, because that Paul Lawrie won that, didn't he?
Yes.
Yeah. Was it a playoff?
Yes, I think. Yeah, Van der Velde missed it, but still got in the playoff, but then lost that.
And what I used to love about BBC coverage, rest his soul, Peter Ellis, mate, the voice of golf.
Yeah, I did enjoy Peter Ellis. Sorry,
good times, good times. First golf tournament you watched live?
First one I watched live would have been the Open as well. That was Royal St George's in 2003, so I'd have been 12. And that was when I can't even remember who won. I just know it was absolute nobody. The one thing I do remember was that Thomas Bjorn was going to win and absolutely messed his pants in the bunker, and I think he left it in there twice.
Oh, that's gonna. Oh, who was it?
I know it was an American, and I know it was basically the only thing he won. But
Was it Justin Leonard?
No.
No. I don't know why I plucked that name out of the sky. Don't know why I plucked it out of the sky. Right, first Ryder Cup you remember watching?
Vaguely remember the Belfry, I think.
Was that 02?
Yeah, 02 Belfry. Because I remember they had Westwood and Garcia together, and they like ripped it up. But I remember having it on. I couldn't tell you remembering what happened in the Ryder Cup at all, apart from like watching highlights since then. But I remember first being aware of the Ryder Cup was that tournament.
Mate, it's such a good tournament. I could sit down for 3 whole days and watch that straight, the Ryder Cup.
It'll always be the best, which is weird because it's the one thing that they don't win anything for playing, but it clearly like means the most to all of them to get in that and win.
Yeah. Right, moving on. So you can play any course in the world. You're in a 4-ball. Who are you playing with, and what course are you playing at, and why?
I play with me, you, and our dads, because that's probably the most enjoyment I have out of playing golf. So me, you, Jeff, and Mark, and it would. I mean, it's the classic toss-up of Augusta or St Andrews, and I would go for Augusta.
Oh, mate. I think it's because it's so far out of reach for all of us.
Yeah, it's almost like space, isn't it? We would have no idea what it's like.
Yeah, mate, I can care that. Yeah. Right, mate. So to finish off the first ITR podcast, we have got a little golfing trivia. Okay.
Oh, I'm bang up for this. I'm a full sports nerd, so I fancy
we've
my chances.
got 5 questions to test your golfing knowledge. Okay.
Bring it on.
So, I mean, you're going to be the clubhouse leader because you're going to be the first participant.
Okay.
So 5 questions. If you get one right, you're making birdie. If you get it wrong, you're making bogey. So let's try and get you 5 under, mate.
Yeah, let's do it.
You ready? Are you ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
Nice. First one. Because you're one of the few left-handed golfers I know, I've just given it away, but you should know this. Who won the 2023 British Open?
Oh, last year, Brian Harman.
Right, correct. 1 under, mate.
Awful winner. I felt sorry for the Open as a whole because everyone at the start was like, "Who is this guy?" But he got it round.
He did indeed. He sends it as well for a little guy.
Yeah,
sends it. Right, question 2. He's 1 under through 1. How many shots under par is a condor?
Condor, I believe, is a hole in one on a par 5, so that'd be 4 under.
Correct. He's 2 under. I don't know if that's ever been done. I assume it has been. If it's been named,
Surely, like somewhere, yeah.
someone's had to have done it. Well, tell you what. For the next one, we'll find that one out, and we'll get back to it. Question 3, tough one. Where was the first Ryder Cup held?
I don't know. Prestwick was where the Open was first held. I imagine the first Ryder Cup was held in the UK. I'm going to go with, I don't know, True.
That is incorrect, I'm afraid, mate. That's a bogey. It was at Worcester Country Club, which is in the States.
Oh, there you go. I've got the wrong country.
I want to say it was 1927. So that was old format, obviously US versus Great Britain and Ireland.
Yeah.
So
wow, nearly 100 years ago.
Back to 1 under through 3 holes. Right, this is a bit of a multi-select one. So
Okay.
Which of these golf club manufacturers is the oldest? Ping, TaylorMade or Callaway?
Ping.
Correct. So Ping 1959, TaylorMade 1979, and Callaway 1982.
There you go. I was nearly went Callaway, so that would have been very wrong. But yeah.
So he's got it to 3 under through 4. Last question, true or false one? Has a golfer ever won the British Amateur and the British Open in their career? True or false?
I'm going to go true, because that sounds like something Bobby Jones would have done.
Mate, you're absolutely spot on. One of 3 people done it. Mr. Jones is one of them. I believe that was probably in the 1920s at some point. Good old Bob never turned pro, amateur throughout his entire career. So he was one of them. Another guy called Harold Hilton, which I believe was in the 1800s. And John Ball Jr., which was also in the 1800s or late 1800s. So there we go, mate.
There we go.
4 under, your clubhouse leader. Obviously, we've got a lot more podcasts to come, so you could be knocked off the leaderboard. But
I'll take it, mate. I like my chances.
Mate, I just want to thank you, Dan, for taking the time and having a chat with us and just having a walk through your golfing life, really. Hopefully listeners at home or the watchers at home pick something up from it. I mean, we should have made well, can't even get my words out. Help me with the words, Dan. We should have made a disclaimer at the start. We are not golfing professionals.
No, very far from it.
Don't listen to us if you don't want to.
Yeah, take all my advice with a pinch of salt, because we're all struggling as it is.
Cool, nice one, Dan. Thanks for the time, mate. Obviously, best of luck with the golf this year.
Thank you, mate. Good to see you. I'll see you on Monday for the team comp.
I'll be seeing you on the tee, mate. Let's go rip it.
Cheers, mate.
Mate.
Bye.
Bye.